Welcome to Take the Black React, the show where myself, Dan Selcke, here with special guest, culturist editor-in-chief Sharareh Drury.
Hi there.
Talked the latest episode of Game of Thrones, and I think my prevailing feeling right now is bewilderment.
Yeah.
Listen, we all watched the same episode, people. You all just saw what we saw. Hot, holy crap.
Holy dragonfire crap.
Julie says, new favorite episode. Best episode in a while. So it says Michael Douglas, which we love his movies. Mm-hmm. Jacqueline says, so disappointed. Scott, I'm sick. This is, and of course, Anthony, Danny fucked up. This is going to be destined. Yeah, another one. Darlene, I'm sick of this episode. This was hard to watch.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to zero in on, I think, the moment that's going to define maybe this season's episode, this show. Mm-hmm. The moment where it was an incredible episode to watch. I was definitely spellbound the whole time. I was morose. It was heavy. It like weighed on me. Mm-hmm. Okay, the bit where Daenerys has burned the Iron Fleet, burned some of the Scorpions down, which, by the way, they weren't nearly as effective as last week. Shooting down dragons, not even close. And then she hears the surrender bells surrendering. I was not sure who pulled them. I guess when you see that,
I had a feeling it was just like someone who's like, I'm over it.
Oh, totally.
I'm just
yeah, this is nope, didn't sign up for this, nope, and out of here. And she gets a look on her face. She gets a furious, crazed, no, not going to take it look, and then she takes off and burns innocent civilians and just burns the city to the ground and kind of ushers in an 45-minute long, I'm not sure how long exactly it was, but orgy of death and destruction, property damage, murder. There's definitely no coming back from that ever.
No.
Yeah, Daenerys is canceled.
She kind of is. She very much is. At least the Daenerys that we knew. Like, the one that I feel like, at least in my mind, the one that we saw leading up to this, there's no more of that left. I feel like there was a Daenerys that, at least for me, and like I'm someone who's a big Daenerys fan, like there was a Daenerys that like I felt like we had, who was growing up, who was learning, who I felt like would be a rightful queen, and that's gone. That's completely gone.
Oh no!
Like,
I mean, obviously she can't be the rightful queen anymore.
No,
it's over.
100%.
It's over. It's done.
100%.
To me, I think the success of this episode turns on whether you bought that moment. Because, I mean, like, the episode itself was pretty spectacular.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, it really was. It was horrifying. But just the long shots of Arya running through the ashen fields, the Hound of the Mountain, Cersei and Jaime clutching each other as they died and thing fell down. I mean, just brutal, brutal stuff. So I guess my question for you and for everybody out there watching, did you buy it? Did you buy Daenerys having a surrender, having a chance to say, okay, I can draw the line here, and then deciding to snap and just go absolute ham on King's Landing?
Are you saying, like, do I think, like, do I buy, like, that, just that whole transition?
Yeah. Did you believe that's what would have happened?
I don't know. I feel like the Daenerys that I've seen this season, it made sense, but it's not, like I just said, like it's not the Daenerys that I feel like I've been watching up until this point. Time. I don't know. Admittedly, I'm sure everyone has their opinions on like where exactly her breaking point was, or like where she started to chip away from like wanting, like being a good person,
right.
And that maybe that darkness or whatever you want to call it started growing within her. But I didn't really buy it because for me, like when I saw her face as the bells were ringing, I thought there was either two things that I thought would happen. Either one, it was a face of just all this emotion happening, feeling like she was about to take down King's Landing and that she wasn't going to. And it was just her, just all of that emotion happening in her face, like as if someone was going to hit the kill switch and then they decided not to. And then when she starts to fly off, I'm like, oh, she's just going to go take out Cersei.
Right. I wasn't sure. I was really nervous, obviously.
Yeah, I was like, where is she going? But I don't know. Then, like, once she starts doing what she's doing and starts burning down King's Landing, I I sat back and like my heart was just like,
Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah.
It's like it's being torn apart because you like this person.
Yeah.
You've been with them for 8 years now.
yeah.
And they're
That's
gonna
why
do
I
that?
don't. That's why I don't think it makes sense to me, and that's why it really upsets me that that's the choice that this show made for her to
Right.
go. And I don't know. Again, people would argue, oh, like it's been foreshadowed from the start, and I mean, I can see that to an extent, but I'm still very upset by it because it almost makes me feel like, well, then why was this person built up? At least in the way that I feel like that she was. Like,
Right.
why was she built up that way? So
Yeah,
that's why it's upsetting.
It
at least
was
for me.
all kind of Daenerys is doing the worst thing ever. There wasn't any, like, there's no justification for that. Like, there's
Yeah.
no way anybody, including her or anybody, is going to argue. Well, you know what? If you look at it from her perspective, like, no.
No,
There's
because
no
I mean,
way.
she got what she had the city, and that's what bothers me. It's like I can understand she's still upset after seeing her dragon/child die. She's upset
Right.
about Missandei
Missandei
dying.
dies, yeah.
I get that, but
John's
again,
taking her throne. Varys is betraying her. I mean, God, I forgot about Varys.
Oh.
I mean, that's just
I
whatever
mean,
at the beginning of the episode.
yeah, exactly. And I mean, I could see that. I mean, like she looked when we saw her at the very start of tonight's episode, she looked busted. Like
Oh,
she,
they had that front shot of her looking out at the
eyebrows
sea.
weren't done, hair
And
was
just
falling
like
apart.
the big bags under her eyes, like
Right.
the makeup person was not making you look your best.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it's and again, it's like understandable, like what she has just experienced. So I get all of that, but it's again like when she had won the city, I was just like, why would you go further with that? So that's why I think obviously is why the choice doesn't make sense. Is you had what you came here for,
Right.
and you literally destroyed it, and the city's not even like standing; it's covered in ash. Like it's. I don't even know what city she has to rule. Like she is not like she's taking it all down.
I mean, I guess you could say that, like, okay. I mean, she said that line, like, no love, okay, we'll go with fear, something like that. I think I wrote it down. But still, come on, Nanny.
Yeah, seriously.
Take a half measure.
Exactly. I know. We feel like we need to like have a calm
Yeah,
down from
I'm
that.
not entirely lucid like I usually am after these, because that was something else. Okay. Let's read a comment. I don't go to that. Danny has gone batshit crazy, says Anne. She'll be killed in the last episode. I mean, at this point, she has to be. Became the Iron Throne, the end, quite possibly. And Debbie says she lost everything after giving everything to everyone else.
Oh,
She did give a lot.
that's true.
But Leslie said they killed the character, not fair. I gotta go with that side. I just do. I mean, okay. They have foreshadowed a lot.
Yep.
We've always had, is she crazy? Her father's a crazy man, yada, yada, yada. She's going to blow up King's Landing. She's kind of achieving her father's dream, basically, of blowing up the
Right.
city. And I think his bombs are even going off, his little wildfire bombs, and they're the green bomb. You saw the green fire mixed in with there.
Yep.
She's done very extreme things over the course of the series. I just wasn't ready for this. Like, I don't think they led up to this. Of
I
just
don't
wholesale slaughter.
I don't think as big as it was. It could have. I feel like if it had been just taking out Cersei and the Red Key and all of that, I would have been fine. I would have been okay with that. I still would have been upset that she went even that far. But I don't even know where you. Like, I'm exasperated because like I don't even know where you go from here. Like that.
I mean, she's got to die. 100%.
Well,
Full stop.
exactly. No, I mean she's done, and I mean, and that opens up a whole other thing of like, who would that be? I mean,
Really?
I know.
Now she's a villain. I don't like that. She's gone. She's now a villain.
Yeah, and
No,
that's
she wasn't for
she
most
wasn't.
of the series.
She was. I mean, it's like I don't know if.
She like danced along the line a little bit, but this wasn't dancing along. This was like jumping all over to one side.
And that's like no, she became like a Cersei, and like I mean, I always feel like Cersei kind of almost was that first Mad Queen, obviously in a
Totally.
lot of
I mean,
ways.
She blew up property. She blew up a big thing.
Yeah, exactly. She kind of went a little off, but like this is, I don't know. I'm gonna be really curious, like when we're done from here, like to see all of the reactions.
Oh, I can tell you what they are. People are not happy.
Well, I am sure. I mean, I'm
we
sure you're
have them
getting a
here.
flurry.
I mean, yeah, well, we have them here. People are upset. I mean, I think it's a difference between. I mean, obviously you're upset. You don't watch that and not be upset. But are you upset in a way that I'm mad at what they did to her, or are you upset in a way that was ridiculous and crazy, and I can't believe Dany
Right.
did that? As long as you buy what Dany did, that was a great episode. If you don't buy it, I think it's something else.
Well, yeah, and I'm definitely on team. I don't buy it. I'm on team like that makes
either.
literally
I wish I did.
no sense. And I mean, there were a lot of things that also didn't make sense. this episode, like other things that were happening, like maybe choices not just in characters, but even like scenes they were shooting. Like the fact that Arya seemed like she died 20 times.
That was like 3 times they faked that out.
I was like, wait, what's happening? Wait, what's happening? Like,
Not only that, I mean, they're just trying to. I mean, Arya was kind of our point of view there while the city was burning and falling down around us.
That's true.
Yeah. I mean, I did think maybe they pulled the "is she dead" card one or too many times. But
Yeah, that was my thing. It was like a couple times, and then her kind of.
I did like her ending. I thought she had some good bits. I liked the Hound talking her down and saying,
"Oh yeah," and her saying "thank
don't
you."
Don't be like me. That was very sweet.
And
we needed some sweetness, like badly, in this episode.
Because it was I think this might be. I am really curious if anyone was wearing like a Fitbit during tonight's episode, like how many spikes were happening. Because I definitely had a few moments where I felt like I needed to catch my breath. And when we were all watching, because we all cover the show here, it's like there were definitely moments where I felt like we were all just like holding ourselves.
Oh, totally. When they zoomed in on Arya, like ash-covered face.
I almost thought she was done.
And that was great. Then you do it twice more, like a little bit much.
Yeah, exactly.
I did love the Hound telling her, don't be like me. And I like their ending. So she gets the ending of her riding off on a horse.
That was interesting to me. I'm happy for it because I mean I don't know what that means if she's just like, you know what, after seeing all of that, I'm done. Like. Do you feel like at this point we'll ever see her again?
Well, she was in the preview.
Okay, that's well,
so
yeah.
Yes,
okay.
I'm sure we will.
Maybe my heart was pounding that much. I wasn't seeing things, but like, okay, so that's good. It's interesting to me that like that's. I feel like maybe because of everything she just witnessed, she's very like, all right, I'm done.
I mean, I thought it was like maybe symbolic of, okay, I've come through it. I've let go of this vengeance I had, which is a good life choice. And I'm going to ride into a new day where
there was a lot of symbolism.
A bit more of well, just a person. She kind of had a happy ending in this episode. One of the few people who did.
Very few people who did.
I mean, possibly the only person.
Yeah, I don't really know.
I mean, there's no way Jon Snow sticks with his queen now.
No, I mean, 100% not. I mean, he essentially already. I mean, of course, like no one was like paying attention, like watching him do this, but. He, as everything's happening, you can see he's just like, yeah, I don't think so. Going against it, trying to save people.
There's that bad moment where that was one of his own guys who was going to rape that woman, and he's killed him.
Yeah, I mean, but also like, obviously he should have stopped because I mean, what was happening? I think like in the death recap that we're doing for Culture, so I think one of my biggest things is like all of the innocent people of King's Landing.
Right.
Obviously, we were taken out because you watch that and you're like. That's another, again, I know we're going backwards a bit, but like that's again another reason why this makes no sense for Daenerys because I could never see her wanting to hurt innocent people the way.
Like the only explanation is she wants to just burn it to the ground.
She's broken that wheel somehow, some way because there's nothing like left after what she just did. So no, but people like Jon, like no, there's no way that. I'm just curious, like what that will, like what their meeting will be, like what could even occur from this point between those two, other than him taking her out.
Or Arya taking her out. Because, again, she was in the preview. And I mean, like, now, like, go on, Arya.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it upsets me even to say it, but, like, yeah, I mean, at this
point. That's
point.
the kind of queen you're going to be. Yeah, she needs to go.
Yeah, you need to go.
Yeah, that's a stone in the stomach there, stone in the heart. Mm-hmm. It's just rough. And, I mean, I almost feel like it's like small talk about other bits of the episode because that was just so dominating, that giant action scene. I mean, do you feel bad for Cersei at all toward the end with your little single tear rolling down?
You know, I would if it were, it was interesting because I did see a few people like, as I was like following on Twitter, there were a few people who were like, I feel sorry for her, and then you start making the laundry list of all of the horrible things that she's done.
In the moment, I did kind of feel bad for her.
I do. I think I felt bad when she's talking about her baby.
Yeah.
That's, I don't know how you don't feel bad, like at least a teeny bit. Like I would hope like so everyone would be like, oh, like, yeah, that kind of sucks. But also she is a horrible person. So I don't know. And then her and Jimmy going out together the way they do. I mean, that was sad when she's like, please, I don't want to die. And she's like begging him to somehow save her. I'm like, but you also kind of deserve everything that's happened. And she killed Miss Sandy. And that was one of the deaths that really upset me. Oh, probably of everything I've ever seen ever on this show.
It was horribly brutal.
Yeah. And she was a beautiful person. So that I was like, you know what, you can die now for just.
No. I mean, she had it coming, definitely. Mm-hmm. I mean, I still felt a little bad. I felt
a little tear.
When Jaime saw her in the little courtyard area and they hugged. I wanted somebody to hug. Like,
Oh,
if it has to be Jaime and Cersei,
Right.
fine.
Well, the thing that got me actually was earlier on with Tyrion and Jaime.
That was sweet.
That got me because when Tyrion, and I know we've kind of heard this before from him, but him just reiterating like, you are my brother and basically you're the one who like watched out for me. You're the one who made me feel like I wasn't a monster. And that
I
was
wasn't
beautiful.
going to buy that because I was like, when Tyrion was saying like, you can convince her, like, how many times this happened? You cannot convince Cersei.
No.
But then he started talking about like, you let me out of prison. I love you. You're the only one who, like, okay, I get it. So this is an emotional thing.
Right. Exactly.
That scene was nice.
It was sweet. It was a hug. There was a hug there. It was a sweet hug, and they're
That was
crying
like
for each other.
before the chaos started, though. After that, so I needed a hug really badly.
I get that for sure.
Someone asked what happened to the Golden Company, and it was I mean, there were really good action moments. That was like when the wall behind them just blew up and they all died.
The faces, their faces were quintessential. Like we are effed 100% when that came through. And I mean, it's interesting how quickly everything fell with just one dragon, which makes me sad because I think it would have been epic to have seen if they had all somehow made it. I know they probably wouldn't have happened up until this point, but to have seen all three dragons attack King's Landing would have been insane. But that's for Drogon to do everything that he did with just one dragon. That's pretty insane.
I mean, it was so one-sided. That's another reason why the Daenerys turn was so nuts. Oh no,
Yeah.
I mean it's a giant dragon. Like it can do whatever.
Right, exactly.
But that's another reason that just the giant turn was so despairing. Just like you beat him and you beat him bad.
Yeah.
You can lay off.
Well, that's a perfect point because it's like, what more did you really need to do? Like I don't know. I'm just gonna be upset about this all night thinking about like just going over these kinds of facts.
I know. I mean, yeah, it all comes back to that. I mean, we should talk about some other points.
Okay.
There were other points.
Okay, there are other things.
All I
Yes.
want to talk about is Daenerys stuff, though. It's really it.
I am sure.
Oh my God. Okay. I did enjoy the quick. Wait a minute. Katie says, "I don't want Dany to die. I have loved her for so long." Okay, but Katie, after that, you don't want her to die.
Yeah,
then?
I was gonna say after that. I don't know how you. What do you do?
That's all I want to talk about.
Yeah.
But okay. Cleganebowl, that was fun. I did enjoy the mountain just killing Qyburn, just like.
Yeah, that was. I don't know what he thought he was doing and getting in the way between those two. I mean, I guess.
I mean,
he thought he had that control.
The Frankenstein to Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah.
He figured it's like, you know what, I got this.
Listen to it. And I mean, it's not like he's ever been disobedient before. So why would he think this would be any different? But that was a very swift, like, just knocked out. And then when those two went at it, that was by far, I mean, one of the most violent, I mean, compared to, I guess, when he killed Oberyn, like, I guess that was pretty violent. But seeing someone just get stabbed through that was, I mean, I know the show gets violent, but for me at least, there was a minute where I forget it. And then that happens, and you're like, damn.
Like, the show can be, but it's not always crazy violent, so you don't. Yeah. This time, that will be in like the top 5 moments of like most violent moments on the show.
And he did the eye thing again. That's his signature.
He saved him one
wrestler move that he's got. He just goes for the eyes like that. I mean, I was almost like, it was disgusting, but it was a nice callback. I don't know. I don't want to call it that, but it kind of was.
I couldn't believe they killed Qyburn, Alyssa. Are you kidding? Qyburn was so dying. Oh, and Ashley points out that yes, Sandor died by fire, which is always afraid of. Nice and ironic there.
It's true. Big old fireball.
Jaime versus Euron. That was kind of cute.
Ooh, that was good. That was the bro versus bro fight. I was waiting for. I thought that was interesting. I think the second I knew that Euron would die was when he was like, "Oh, what happens if you're a Kingslayer twice?" Essentially, and I was like, "That's basically now you're going to die because you made that comment."
I don't think anybody expected him to get out of this episode alive. No. But yeah, he did a lot for his brief time on the show. Damn.
I guess.
And he even seemed happy in his last line. "I'm the man who killed Jaime Lannister."
That was...
He got a little sign-off.
That line was so cheap. I'm not going to lie. Of the things that happened in the show, there were things that didn't make sense and there were things that were cheesy. Like, that was ultimate cheesy for me. I mean, I get that he would be that kind of person to say that. Like die smiling that he took somebody out. But that's what makes him a bro in my mind too. He is a medieval version of a bro, essentially.
God. I mean, honestly, I don't have a ton other to like get in specifically, just because the battle was so all-encompassing. I mean, they do a great job on the show of kind of the montages of faces. That they always have that great.
Yep.
When Daenerys was about to pop off, let's just say, they had like Cersei's face, Jon's face, Daenerys' face, Tyrion's face. That was great. They got their editing game down.
Yeah.
Other than that, like, what else do you want to talk about?
Dan, do you need a drink? This
Kinda, yeah. Some water would be nice.
I feel like you need like a vodka water. Well, I think one thing that was interesting, and I'll give a credit to Cheryl Wassenaar for Culturist for bringing this up, because we were talking about it while we were all working on writing on it. Is the whole ash coming down on the city? I think it's a nice touch, because if we remember from Daenerys' dream of
back
coming
in season 2, right?
I thought that was an interesting touch. Like you can, and admittedly, I remember even the second time around when I re-binged the show, getting ready for this season 8, I remember seeing that and thinking to myself, I don't think that's going to be snow. I have a feeling it's because like something has everything is burned down. So to see it finally come and be that, it makes sense. And in the preview, like we saw, like everything's dark, everything's covered in ash. Like she's walking out in front of like a massive army and a city that she's destroyed in bodies. It's like Pompeii out there. It's like
totally Pompeii.
It's a very Pompeii-esque, which is a slight callback to Kit Harington, who was in the Pompeii movie. but it is a very Pompeii-looking scene with all the bodies.
They also want to call back superfans for when Bran had a vision season 4 of the future. There was a brief shot of a dragon flying over King's Landing, which totally happened tonight. I think that might have even been the shot they same used.
Ooh, I feel like I would want to go and rewatch that, because I feel like that. I remember this.
Yeah, it was like Bran had a flash, and it was just, it showed a shadow of a dragon over the city. And I'm like, oh, there it is.
That's
and
exactly
they showed
what
that
it
thing.
is. Oh.
What happened?
I'm at a loss for so many things. What do you feel like goes on from here?
I mean, pretty sure I know. Daenerys lived, so we have to have an episode of her talking about that.
Let's unpack what just happened.
Like, what is she going to say?
Like, well, yeah, I mean, I don't even. I wonder, is it just she's like, yo, I mean,
after that,
now?
she's completely cracked. So I don't think if she finds out about Tyrion setting Jaime free, she'll be forgiving.
Do you think that's something that she would, like, because of all the chaos that occurred? I mean, at this point, like, if Jaime's not around, I mean, a lot of people died.
Yes.
So I'm wondering, like, if that's Tyrion's saving grace, that everything happened in such chaos. There's no way to know who did what, when, where. Like,
if any of those Unsullied guys
saw,
remember,
anything?
or survived, which
right?
I don't know why
exactly.
they would. They can tell. I mean, and Tyrion's whole thing was, I'll let you go, but if you can talk Cersei out of it, which is ridiculous, and then you can avoid violence, she might forgive. Like, she's not going to forgive anyone ever again. No,
she's been wronged too many times, and well, she's cracked, so it doesn't really matter. Oh, this is like one little side thing. I was shocked that the Dothraki were there. I thought they were all gone.
I mean, they mentioned that half survived when they were talking about Daenerys, but still, yeah, it wasn't like a highlight line.
I was like, oh, right. Like little nuggets like that were interesting. I was like, okay, there, good job, I guess. Not good job because you killed a bunch of innocent people, but I guess good job for surviving the Night King to go and be horrible people again. So
yeah, good as Dothraki guys.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what happens with them either. I mean, so Daenerys has to die, right? Like that has to be the ending.
It's really hard. It's really hard for me to say it because I'm not going to apologize for her at all for what she did. I think what she did is like this choice is horrible. I don't know what she does. I don't know if she is killed. I don't know if she has cracked so badly that she goes away. Like, I don't think that would be it. I have a feeling that she is legitimately mad with power and she has to be destroyed. And maybe that is how essentially the wheel is broken, that it's people like Jon Snow who never wanted any of this and never wanted power at all. Maybe it's that you end up with someone like him who's like, okay, we need to start over and we need to learn from the mistakes of every single horrible person that came before us to fix this. Like, and maybe that's what it is. I know that's
Maybe.
admittedly I would like that to be it, but I don't really have much hope after what I have just witnessed tonight.
Okay. Well, let's do a couple of comments, and then we can wrap up. 'Cause
Okay.
honestly, I need to process.
It's okay.
Therese thinks that Arya will kill Dany, and then give Jon his throne.
Okay.
Or her throne, which at this point, yeah, why not? A lot of folk are saying that they wanted Cersei to die harder, or weren't satisfied with her
Die
death.
harder.
That they weren't satisfied with Cersei's death. I thought she had a pretty good death.
You know what?
What's that?
I'm kind of with that. I wasn't. I would have liked to. I mean, I would have liked to have seen something probably more happen. I think, in a weird sense, like I'm glad that she's dead. I think she should have died. But I almost feel like I would have much rather her have died. This is gonna sound so horrible. Like, I don't know, Arya showing up, taking out Jaime in front of her, and then killing Cersei.
You
Like,
thought?
I almost feel like I wanted that because, again, ultimate revenge for everything Cersei has done. Like, for her to get to just die alone with Jaime, I mean, I guess it's not the worst thing, because I mean, much worse things could have happened if Arya had gotten to her or anything like that.
I'm very happy that the Hound talked her out of it.
Yeah, I mean, because admittedly, that also could have like just sent. I mean, even if it would have been Arya finishing her kill list, I guess it would. I'm glad that we got to see her walk off into the distance.
Oh, me too.
I guess it's
Much
nice.
so.
I guess that's nice, but I don't know. I mean, I wish like I would have liked to have seen Cersei also maybe just taken out by Dragonfire. That would have been pretty epic.
I mean, she kind of was.
Yeah. It was
Sort
like more
of.
Dragonfire that caused rubble
Yeah,
that came
Dragonfire
down
that
and killed
caused
her
rubble to fall and
and
die.
Jaime. I guess so. I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
Oh, Rosemary does not think Cersei is dead. I beg to differ.
Ooh, yeah. I don't know. That seemed like a lot of rubble.
Yeah.
If
I'm pretty sure
she
she's gone.
somehow survives, she ain't gonna make it through the
No,
final episode. That's for
she's
sure.
fine. Not the episode we expected, Therese. I can say that.
Mm-hmm.
Just not kind of the place I thought they were going to go. I just can't kind of get past how the Dany kind of thing. I just didn't quite buy it. I'm going to rewatch in a minute and do a recap. We'll see how I feel then.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's a lot to process.
A lot to unprocess, I'm sure. I'm sure next when you're on next doing Take the Black stuff,
Yes.
it's going to be a lot to unpack even then, I'm sure.
Kathleen does not think Dany is horrible. She was pushed over the edge of Pamisande's death, which
Mm-hmm.
is fair. Okay, before we go, so they did have some Dany talk earlier in the episode.
Okay.
Where she was just feeling a little paranoid.
Yep.
Justly so, because she was like,
Yeah.
Sansa told you, didn't you? And then you told Varys. That was stupid. Which it was. She did totally predict. She told Jon, don't tell anybody. Sansa's going to leak it. And Jon's like, no, she'll be fine. And then Sansa leaked it. And then Tyrion told Varys. And then Varys betrayed her. And then she killed Varys. And it all kind of is part and parcel. But, and then she had that bit with Jon Snow where she tried to love up on him.
Ooh,
And
that was awkward.
That was awkward.
I mean, for
I liked
obvious-
the fire in the background.
Yeah, they were
Flames of
definitely
passion.
sending him. I mean, she's really trying for it. She's like trying to get like just little kisses, and I mean, and he almost goes for it, and then he's just like, I don't think he can get past, obviously the whole information that he has, but she's really trying, and then like when he pushes away from her, I don't know.
And then she said, fine, let it be fear. I have no love, let it be fear.
That is what, admittedly, thinking about that ticks me off.
Yeah,
Because
no,
feel like
I agree.
That to me bothers me because it almost goes into, and I'm sure we could like go into this on a whole other tangent of just like of it being like a woman who's like spurned
Yeah.
and like everyone's betrayed her, and how a woman wouldn't be able to like make some kind of decision that's not emotional. Like I feel like that's also probably, I'm having a hard time unpacking this now because I am so upset myself, but I feel like that is also something that's bothered me with the treatment of Daenerys' character, is that a woman getting this emotional and this angry, and there's no way for her to make any rational decisions.
No, I agree.
Which is
That
really
bothers me.
upsetting. So I know that's something that we'll definitely get into a lot on our Sound Culturist, because it's something that we've been upset about for a while. But that scene definitely upset me because it's her stepping away from a person who's spurning her, and she's just like, you know what, fine, I'm burn them all. And I feel like that's basically when maybe it started to like teeter off for her a bit.
Right.
Which is messed up because I mean, I feel like a Daenerys that I have come to know and love wouldn't have been pushed off by that. She'd been like, okay, fine, you don't want me, I don't care, I don't need you. I can
Well,
do-
like,
I
I'll
can do
get
anything.
through it.
I'll
Like,
get through
I'm
it. I'll
hurting,
deal with
but
it.
like,
I can
sooner
deal
or
with it.
later.
Yeah. I can get over it after listening to some, I don't know, Beyonce and figure it out.
It happens.
Exactly. Breakups happen, but I don't know. And also when you think about, this might be something I guess I think about too, is it's obviously what's happened to Daenerys recently in the last couple of episodes has been upsetting.
Sure.
But I also think about everything she's ever experienced. Ever. And there have been so many things that like I feel like could have launched her into some tirade, and it's never been on this level.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, she has done some crazy stuff.
Oh, of course.
But again, obviously never on this level.
And that's, I think, why
Like, she's straight up, she's burned people alive. She's fed people to dragons.
Yeah.
She's gone there.
Yeah, she's
but
gone
not
there.
this far.
She's
locked
had
people involved. She's burned people. She's done a lot of stuff.
She has.
She sacked cities. She traded the dragons, then tricked them, and then burned them all.
Yeah.
I mean, look, it's not like there's nothing. I just think it was too big a leap.
I
even with that
agree.
things.
I 100% agree. It's too big, too far for what we've ever known her to do.
Right.
So, yeah.
But we're going to parse through all that over the next couple of weeks. I'm sure the internet will as well.
Yes.
It's going to be a lively
Yep.
discussion. Keep it civil. I'll say that. Everybody keep it civil. Remember,
Please.
at the end of the day, it is a TV show.
Yep.
TV show we very much care much about. We should respect people of differing opinions of our own, and we do. Thanks for watching. We're going to be back on Wednesday at 4 p.m. to pick through the pieces with a little more remove here on the Wick Facebook page. We got the Wick Patreon, Wick Club for more in-depth dives. Oh, and then we'll be back here right after the series finale to discuss it immediately after on Take the Black React. Sharareh, have any sign-off thoughts?
Sign off thoughts. Never gonna get over this episode.
It's gonna take a while.
Yeah, it's gonna be a journey for me for sure, and as I'm sure many fans will too. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Good night.
Good night.